Welcome to Wild, Women in Lending Determined to Make an Impact. I'm your host, Robyn LaVassaur. They say our biggest fear isn't being inadequate. It's being powerful beyond measure. In this podcast, I will share how to break through imaginary ceilings, lean into success, discovering your purpose, and understanding how to create the business and life of your dreams. From failures to triumphs and all the tactics in between, let's jump into the wild arena together. Welcome back to Wild with Robyn LaVassaur. We are going to talk about something that when I learned this in general, when I understood it, I guess is a better way to say it, man, it blew my mind, and I'm so much more intentional with it now, and I have so much reflection of the past with it, and I love to teach on it. And the fun part about this is I'm going to talk about it in a few different hats that I get to wear, one of them being the mom hat, one of them being the wife hat, one of them being the leader hat, right? One of them being actually in the mortgage space, loan officer hat, and how it applies. And so imagine, in general, what life looks like just on the day-to-day. And a dear friend of mine, who I should actually have on this podcast at some point, is a gentleman named Rene Rodriguez. He is brilliant in the space of neuroscience and how we tether. And I've talked about him on a few different episodes because he really is just so relatable, such a good coach around understanding what we grab onto. And so most of us, within a certain window, have moments in our life that we'll never forget. They generally have a very high, meaning super fun, laughter, joy, excitement, energy, or a potential super low, right? Something that was hard, tears, frustration, difficulty. But what really has happened is you are tethering, right, head to heart during it, and it's hitting on all things, and it's a powerful moment. Just quick book club, great book on this in general called The Power of Moments, and it is an awesome, easy read. When you think about that, how powerful are moments? Well, I can tell you that for the most part, the day-to-day is pretty mundane. The day-to-day is pretty mundane. How many of us can remember what we had to eat last week, what we had 2 nights ago for dinner, what we wore? How many people could remember those things? How many birthdays in your lifetime do you remember and can tell a story about them that were powerful? I'm 46, and I probably have vivid memories of maybe 5 birthdays, maybe. And so where do those birthdays, why do they stand out amidst all the other 41 birthdays that I've had? Well, I can tell you there was something that set head to heart, mnemonics, all of those things that ultimately created a moment. So I want to start on the mom boss world for a moment. I've got an employee whose kiddos, actually quite a few, whose kiddos are going to school for the first time. And for all of you moms out there that are balancing career and home, and even staying home full time and balancing staying home full time with possibly finding other avenues, right, to be out of the house, there comes a lot of guilt and expectations on both sides when it comes to women and children. And it's kind of interesting and funny. And I'll say this is never an always or a never, if you will, but my husband has really, truly never thought to himself, I feel bad if I'm not the one to drop my kids off for school or pick them up. It just doesn't cross his mind. But as a woman, I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves that potentially can gauge us of whether or not I'm being a great mom. Do I have the capacity, right, to pick my kids up and to drop them back off? And if other moms are doing it, to be the volunteer in the classroom, to be the one that attends the field trip, to be all things at all times to the kids. Well, I'll tell you what, when your kids get school age and you're all of a sudden at work and you maybe have obligations that you can't leave frequently, you start to feel some mom guilt, most likely. And that mom guilt sets in. And I think to myself, gosh, how do we help with it? And so as I'm walking by one of my employees, I said, are you so excited about your son's first day at school? And I could see the tears well up in her eyes. And I was like, whoa, let's have a conversation. What's going on? And she said, he's great. He's excited. He's like all the things. I'm struggling. I'm struggling with the inconvenience, right? We live about 20 minutes away from the school, of driving him, picking him up in a short window. They're only at school for 2 hours this week in kindergarten. So all the logistics just don't work. And she's beating herself up. And I said, let's take a deep breath for a minute. Somebody that picks up every single day and drops off every single day, how much magic do you believe there is in that for them or for the kids? How much magic? And she's like, probably none. And I said, how often are they going to remember Gosh, every single time they picked me up. Who picked me up every day? All of those things. I will tell you, Nana picked our kids up most of the time, and our kids have some pretty funny memories with Nana for sure. But once in a while, I would pick them up. I'd be the surprise guest, and I would show up, and maybe we'd go get a smoothie, go get an ice cream, have some fun. And I learned to never set that exact expectation in case I couldn't get away with work, right? Mortgage is unpredictable. So in case I couldn't get away, I never set the exact expectation, but I would put it on my calendar to leave and go pick up the kids on occasion as a surprise. And I'll tell you what, when you do that, not only are you mentally prepared for it, but I was no longer right on the phone, distracted. We're going to go get a smoothie or a blizzard or ice cream. We're going to have some fun for a little bit, and they're going to get mom. And it's something that felt special. It's a magic moment. So imagine if you take that guilt and you say, okay, now that I've cried it out a little bit and adjusted to my kid being in kindergarten, you said, let me create a powerful moment. Let me create a schedule of magic moments for the rest of the year. And that won't come with guilt. It'll actually come with great intentionality. In fact, I might pick them up the first day of the month. I might pick them up after school, and mid-month I might drop them off at school and get out of there early and have some fun. And I might do something towards the end of the month. Maybe it's 3 times a month. Maybe it's only once a month. And if you think about blinking and how quick 4 weeks goes by, your kid will be surprised every single time you're able to show up from time to time and you take that little window. Work can afford to miss you. You can afford to go be with your son or daughter and have some fun, and you've created a magic moment that feels special. You talk about things when people go, oh, my grandparents visited. We have this one family we were really close with growing up, and they came down every summer. And it was only one time a year that we ever got to see them, but we always talked about them as if they were some of our best friends. Why? Because how excited and how intentional we were for that 1 week that we knew was never likely ever going to be more than that. I don't know if we knew it officially or if it was just subconsciously, but everybody knew it. But 1 week a year is what we got with them. But imagine being fully present for 1 week with your own family, with your own business, not distracted, not begrudgingly, not I have to versus I get to. And so that was 1 week of pretty much magic moments. Now, I can't remember every single bit of it, but I know every single summer this family came down to our town and literally hung out. And if they would have come 4 and 5 times a summer, I probably wouldn't remember as much. I probably wouldn't have as many magic moments. Marriage. You can have dinner every single night with your spouse, have pretty much the same conversation. Maybe you're scrolling on the phone, maybe the TV's on, maybe you're fully engaged. But once in a while you come home and maybe there's music playing, maybe dinner's ready. Maybe it's got a little different tune to it. Maybe there's roses on the counter or candlelight. Maybe those things that make you happy. Maybe instead it's a spontaneous dinner out with no distraction that, I always told my husband, gosh, it'd be so great if you planned everything for something. And then the control freak in me would actually want to take it back over. But the truth was, when he even gave that effort, I'll never forget one weekend. We've been to countless country concerts, but one that I will never, ever forget is one that I woke up on a Saturday morning and 2 people were at my door to watch our 4 kids 2 and under. I think at that point they were probably 4 and under at that point, but 2 people, because that's what it took. He had arranged everything. He'd even packed me a bag, very scary, not the best clothes, but he had done all that. We got in the car and I didn't know where we were going and we headed north. And as we were drudging our way up, as we passed Portland, I realized we were going to hit Seattle. And it turns out that he had planned for us to be at a Kenny Chesney all-day concert with tons of our favorite artists for 1 night together in Seattle as a surprise. I'll never forget it. I'll never, ever forget that moment that he created because it was special. Now, I've been married for 25 plus years and with him for 27. I've got tons of magic moments, and those keep things going because every so often you have to have powerful moments. So what are you doing in your business that create powerful moments? With your referral partners, with your team, with yourself, with your clients? Because yes, even in that 30-day window, you want them to have some sort of moment that doesn't feel like everybody and everything else that happens in this world. If their one moment was painful, which it very well could be, what is the likelihood that they're coming back? Are you able to turn that pain, that hard, into an ultimate care situation and a win where they say, gosh, you know what, that was hard, but they cared so much about me, went above and beyond, took it to a powerful moment, that pain was then counteracted by service, by customer service that you were willing to give them. Too much of anything all the time, every single day, the same old, is kind of what life is. And then little bits in between are built on moments. We need the moments. We need to not only create the moments, but we need to be given the moments from other people. And I can promise you, in that mentality in general in your business, if you think to yourself, where's going to be our powerful moment during this? Where's going to be our magic moment of connections? Where's going to be our place where they say, you are above and beyond. You did something so kind for us. You made us feel a certain way. You saved the day and created something. I've had people crying in my office with loan denials from other lenders that we were able to listen, break everything down, and make it happen and get that loan done. While that is powerful, we've had processors literally go to their house, and when the woman that had never bought a house before, that was probably 60 years old, said she has dreams at night about walking into her first home and there being a big red bow on the garage door like you would have on a car. And that moment is awesome for her to share with us, but imagine creating it. Imagine being there the day they get the keys and putting the big red bow on the house with some fun scissors and having some fun with your team where you're actually creating the moment for them. And they realize, wow, this was not just a mortgage experience, right? This is somebody who's going to take care of us and truly cares about us and what our hopes and dreams were all about. It's no different in parenting. It's no different in marriage. It's no different in friendships. It's no different in boss, right? Employee relationships. If you never have a magic moment, if you never have things that are hard that you work through or super incredible and make you feel so loved and cared for, that you could hold on, that gets you through the mundane, that all the gap in between, all the hard, all the everyday sludge that life gives to us, I'll tell you what, it's a pretty boring life, and I think we get pretty empty on the inside. So look for magic moments in all the things that you do. And while you can't every day, it doesn't become special if every single day, right? Imagine if you gave a lottery ticket every day to a client. It probably wouldn't be that special, right? If every day you came home to flowers, at some point you might even be sick of flowers. So make sure that those moments are truly moments that can be remembered and they feel special, which means they're not on repeat. We'll see you soon.